like in my bed, and I just like I looked up and I had that moment where like I don't know if it's ever happened to you, and I was like, where am I?
So where are we now, David? We're on the set of GLTG episode 7.
Wow, great segue.
Anyways,
Great segue.
on that topic, I used to get like that a lot when I lived at.
I have to intro the show.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome to episode 7 of the podcast.
Hi.
I'm your host, Kyle Ambrosi. With me is...
David Hobbs.
And...
Clay Martin.
Clay. So Perry is on his way.
What is he?
An idiot. He's a complete
pirate.
fucking idiot. He's a pirate,
Yeah,
but
he's a
we'll
pirate.
get into that.
We'll get into
Don't
that.
spoil anything.
I'm not spoiling anything.
So
If anything, I'm making it more intriguing.
he's supposed to be here right now, and we started without him because we hate him. And
Well, he's late as hell. So
yeah, he's like
fuck him.
25 minutes late. To be fair, I was like 2 minutes late, but you know,
I was
whatever.
here,
On time.
bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but
I was here at 5:10, and then David texted me to go pick him up, and then my grandpa wanted me, so you know, I was here at 5:10. Fuck you, David.
Sorry for
So,
trying to get
speaking-
you for your podcast.
I'm gonna kick your ass. Speaking of David, he's here finally.
hey.
Hi, everyone.
I don't know if the
Welcome.
one cast will air first or this,
I
but
think we should probably air this first before the one cast.
don't touch the chairs.
Because it'll
Anyways,
be like an introduction to David.
yeah. Well, then you better edit this shit fast as fuck.
Sure, I'll do
So-
it tonight.
Cool. So, like I said, David's here. He's our homeboy, one of the OGs in the group chat, and he's been gone in college
I have
at Lake
fighting
Superior
in the
State,
service.
fighting in the service for our
Been battling
country
aliens.
Yeah.
and fish.
Oh.
So, David, tell me about yourself.
I am a single bachelor.
Singular.
Singular.
I don't think you can say that.
yeah.
I think that'll get you in a lot of
Yeah,
trouble.
probably. No, I
Yeah.
am 19. I currently go to college at Lake
Don't know how to
Superior
fucking
State in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. I am studying conservation biology. I am extremely boring, very monotone, and I have a deep voice,
He is the voice of the podcast.
apparently.
Clay, you're the dumb.
I'm the dumb.
You're the dumb of the
Okay,
podcast.
I don't agree with that.
Apparently.
I think I'm very intellectual.
All right, so you're the comedian then. Is that your
Sure,
title?
sure.
Because I'm smarter than you.
I'll
so
be the comedian. Okay, you're smarter than me in some aspects, maybe. But
Is this where like they get like the team together to like do the heist, and so you have like the brains?
Yeah,
and, like,
I'm the
muscle,
brains.
yeah,
and
I'm the.
Perry's the muscle.
You're the comedic.
Perry's the
relief.
muscle?
You're
Are
the
you-
comedic relief.
Have you seen him? Oh, really? Have you
I
seen
have
him
Perry.
before?
I'm pretty sure I can push Perry down, no problem.
Yeah, but he's
when he gets
feisty.
here, I'm gonna push
He's
him down.
feisty.
Do
he's
it.
like a, he's like
When
a
he goes
muscular
downstairs.
squirrel.
He's like a ninja.
Yeah, he has like.
I disagree. I think Perry's showboating.
Oh, 100%.
He has some good.
I
moves,
could knock him out.
but I'm
Like,
saying,
no
like,
doubt
he
about
can get
that.
laid out
But, like,
by anybody.
you don't think that Perry's just muscular because he's got like skinny person muscles? Where like.
No, he totally.
Yeah.
No, that's completely it.
Okay.
Like, he's thin as
Because
shit.
I have skinny person muscles.
I don't
like,
believe that. You can keep
okay,
lying to me,
cool.
but I don't believe it.
If you look at my body, since I have no fat content whatsoever, it looks.
He's
like I
actually fat as
have
shit.
some
He's
muscles.
lying to all of
Yeah.
you right
Dude,
now.
he's fucking obese.
Yep, I am 300 pounds.
You sound great for a 300-pound person.
Yeah.
Usually they're like a little nasally because their throat's being crushed. It's true.
That's mean to fat people.
Probably, but nobody
Yeah.
listens to this anyways. Doesn't matter.
Sizest. We just lost all of our obese listeners
All
because
our
of you.
obese fans.
Yeah.
Good thing we don't have any fans.
That's accurate.
Self-deprecation here.
We're gonna have to
Not
make
yet.
this joke until we have like.
2 fans.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw one last one in there.
One fan. Yeah.
All of
Thanks
our
for sticking
all
around.
of our fans are like your friends. They're not even any of my. Nobody that follows.
There's
us
no
are my
random
friends
person.
or like David's friends.
No,
David
if you
doesn't
look
have
at the
friends.
analytics, there's been a couple people who I feel really bad for whoever this happens to, but they'll just randomly stumble upon these podcasts.
I've looked at the
YouTube
analytics a
feed.
lot.
Yeah. Where they're
Yeah,
just
I
like,
do feel
huh,
bad
I
for
wonder what this is.
And it's
they
just
click
a
on
shit
it,
show.
yeah.
What the
They're like,
fuck?
Like, I can't listen. The average view time is what, 7 minutes on the first episode.
Yeah.
So
Incredible.
I don't know.
they should listen to the last episode because episode 6, which isn't even released yet. As of this recording, I have to do that today.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. That one's actually really funny though.
Good.
So I have a few things to talk about. We already covered 2 of them, which was the struggling views on our channel and the fact that David exists.
Yeah.
So why couldn't you be on last week?
Um,
Lean into the mic. Don't lean away from it.
Yeah.
I have to think about why I couldn't have been on this week. No, I know exactly why. I was planning on being on last week, but
Yeah.
sadly,
We had to replace you with
Ranger,
some fucking idiot.
I got in a minor car accident, which happened to total the vehicle that I was driving.
Very minor accident.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't even
Yeah.
that bad. The only reason that the truck got totaled was because the airbag went off. And
Yeah.
with used vehicles, that is normally like a KO. Like they won't, even if, honestly, it wasn't even really that bad of an accident. I was looking down at my phone to check directions like an idiot. By the time I looked up, the light had changed and everybody was stopping, and I just didn't have time to stop. And I ran in.
Why wouldn't you just hold your phone up to the windshield when you do that?
Because I'm not an idiot.
Oh, but looking down for 10
I had my
seconds
phone
makes you
plugged
smart.
in, I looked at the directions.
See, what I have is I have a little
phone holder. Yeah, so do I.
phone.
On my
I
windshield.
had driving somewhere
I
far
had
away.
one that I was using it, but for some reason, as soon as the temperature dropped below 40, I would put my phone in it and it would just fall off. I don't know why.
Put it on the
Mine,
dashboard.
when it gets
I
hot,
did.
it falls
Yeah,
over.
I tried putting it on the dashboard and I tried putting it on
It sticks better on the window.
and everything.
Really?
Yeah, I tried.
Did you clean the window?
Yeah. I literally tried everything, but it was
So
only the temperature.
back to my
difference.
original question: why didn't you just hold it up while you were holding the steering wheel to
Because
your
I
windshield?
was just literally looking at where my turn was, and I was going to set it back down. In my
Why
seat.
didn't you
I
use
had
the
it
voice,
sitting
the
charging in
audio?
my feet.
I have audio turned off. That's just so
I know.
annoying.
I'm just I'm just trying to piss you off, dude.
Yeah, I know it's working. No, because
You
I
have to take a breath.
I was looking to see
Yeah.
when my turn was coming up, and I crashed into the back of another lady. I feel really bad about the accident, honestly. If by chance the lady who I got into
She
this car
doesn't listen to
accident
this
was- yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it was bad. I worked really hard to try to get that truck, and no,
Yeah, you didn't even have it a year.
nope, not
I've
even
been
yet.
there
It
3
sucks,
times.
but it happens, dude.
Fuck, dude, you barely even had that car. But were you by yourself?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank God, because I feel like if I was with Becca, she
I thought
probably
you
would
were.
have had a heart
I thought you
attack.
were with her, and I was like,
No.
that sucks. But
No,
then she wouldn't see you as a man anymore.
I think she already doesn't see me as a man, but
That's alright.
But
I'm
you're
not
an
a
Eagle
man at all.
Scout.
it doesn't make me a man, dude.
That's pretty manly
I'm
shit.
pretty sure
Is
that's how you become a man.
You're
If
the
you're not an
Eagle
Eagle
Scout.
Scout,
You're
you're
not a
pussy
man.
bitch.
Yeah. Jeez, you guys got some catching up to do.
Yeah,
start
I can work
training.
on cars, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
there.
I don't know, cars are cool.
Speaking of cars, I've had mine for 6 days now. I had it for 4 days when I
2 days
injured
ago.
it 2 days ago. Thank you, Clay. So, as we all know, I have probably the worst luck in the group with cars.
Yep.
Because although you've totaled one and you've kind of screwed yours up a little bit, not too bad. Like you broke the mirror, not a big
I
deal.
didn't break them. Okay, yeah. I
Yes,
did.
you
What
did.
is the most tickets here?
I do.
I have 2.
Yeah.
I have
No, I have 3,
4
including
or
a parking
5.
ticket.
Yeah, including parking, I have like 4 or
Twos,
5.
1 speeding, 1 I made a fucking left turn when I wasn't supposed
Yeah,
to. Suck my dick. And then a parking ticket.
So, my luck is catastrophic, and it's depressing to a point because last week my car blew up, so I got a new one, and it's in perfect condition. It was in perfect condition, for a 1996. Like
It was.
it was.
So what?
until I was hanging out with a friend, and we were just driving down Mound. Now, for those in the area, we all know that Mound is the worst road ever.
Of course.
But we also know that
terrible.
between 11 and 22 mile, like there's a giant median in between the opposing sides of the roads. This median has got to be, dude, it's like 0.1 miles long. Like it's a giant
Yeah,
median.
it goes
It's
on for a
huge.
fucking while.
I'm driving around at night, listening to some music, jamming out, windows down, and I'm hanging out with my friend Chloe, and she's jamming out too. And all of a sudden, she just stops, and she points. She doesn't say anything, but she's pointing, and I look at her, I watch her point, and I follow her finger in time to see a giant 16-inch wheel fly into my fucking car. I had just enough time to hear it. It goes, and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Is that your reaction? Is that what you
Yeah, that's literally what I said. What in the fuck just happened?
That's so fucking
Was she funny? Or,
She started laughing
okay.
because
I
of my
would've laughed
reaction.
my ass
Yeah.
off, bro. I just saw
So
a tire, dude. Just fucking bill out of nowhere.
it was going at least
Come on.
it was going at least 20 miles an hour. And I don't know, it was going perpendicular to the road.
But it didn't come from anywhere.
It didn't. I
There was
don't know
there
where the
was
fuck it came from. There was no car. There was no semis. Nothing was going on. And all of a sudden, God dropped a tire and a fucking
He was like, you know
steel wheel on my car.
This guy's having too good of a
yeah,
night.
like,
I just gotta fuck
oh,
it
hey,
up
look,
real quick.
Kyle's in kind of a good mood. Let's fuck up his day.
That's exactly
Tire.
what happened. So
Yeah.
I
Send
didn't
a
know how
fucking
bad the
tire in
damage
his ass.
was until we got to a stoplight and I peeked my head out and I saw my headlight was hanging and I said, "Oh, this isn't good." So I dropped her off at her house and I get out while we're there and I'm like, "This is gonna be bad." I go to open my door. Now you're, it doesn't open. I'm like, dude, what the fuck happened to my car? So I crank the window down because it's a fucking crank window. And I hop out and I look, the headlight is shattered and hanging from the car, and the door frame, not the actual door, luckily, just the frame, is bent.
Nice.
And I'm like, dude, fuck my life. So luckily I have a toolbox in my trunk, and I go to the back of the car, get a pair of pliers, and I bend the frame back so I can at least open the door. But now I have to like spray coat it with clear coat so it doesn't rust, or else my whole fucking frame's gonna rust. And I have to get a new fucking headlight.
Yeah, that sucks.
And I don't know what to do. I inherited this from my dad. My dad,
luck or?
The bad car luck. He's totaled 8 cars, but only 7 of them were his fault.
Damn.
Only 7. He's been T-boned.
Only 7. Only.
The 8th one was not his. Was his fault. The 8th one was his fault.
Only is a good word. Like, only 7 out of 8. That's a good fucking majority. Like,
Yeah, none of them were his fault.
Okay.
Except for the one. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's been T-boned. He's been rear-ended. And it's just like, luckily I've never been in an accident with my cars. They've just been destroyed beyond repair.
From some other means of nature.
People blame me for the engines, but this, at least, I will say that this was not my fault in any way.
No, you can't really control.
I can't control. It was nighttime.
Tire billowing out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm
What I
like,
find funny is that you have no idea where this tire came from.
I don't.
that's the
I
best
turned
part.
around after I dropped it
That's
off, and
the
I
best
went
part.
down
You
mound.
think it would be quite easy to find
A car with
vehicle,
3
like, the
wheels?
source
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
pretty damn
does
easy.
not have the only thing I can think because it wasn't a semi truck
No,
trailer.
no, it wasn't that big. It
Because
wasn't
then,
thick.
like, I could understand if, like, the guy didn't
just kept going.
understand, like, if
They
he
didn't-
lost
yeah, they
one
wouldn't
of his,
feel
like,
it.
many wheels.
Yeah.
So, but, like, how far down the road you have to be before you're like,
Oh, shit!
like,
My tire's not
yeah,
on.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
like that's pretty insane. So,
Unless it, like, I don't know, maybe hot, like, it was in the back of somebody's car and it, like.
but how would it be going perpendicular to the road?
Yeah.
Like if it was in the back of a car, it would have fallen
It
backwards
also
and
had
just.
some force going to it.
It was
so I would
20
say
miles an
it was
hour.
like
This thing, if you put a laser gun to it, you would have been like, "How the fuck is it moving that fast?"
Speeding.
Right.
Like,
It was
that-
speeding.
That
Pull
car
it over.
tire is going way too fast.
I
on
don't
its own.
get it.
That car tire is drunk.
Luckily, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Like I could have hit
Oh,
it
for
head
sure.
on and totaled my car
It
that I
could have
just
like went
got.
through your window, dude.
That's
If
what
it-
I
Yeah.
said. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would suck.
That
Yeah,
would.
yeah, dying.
Just driving down the road, all of a sudden tire just
So-
in your face.
I don't think it was that small. It wasn't small enough to fit in my window. It could have destroyed my windshield if it bounced
yeah, it
too
would've
high.
fucked you up
And
real bad.
yeah,
That would suck if you just had glass like fly into your face.
yeah,
No, I
yeah.
think that'd be okay.
That'd be fine. But so I'm about to give up on cars completely.
Yeah, you're just gonna bike everywhere.
I did that, and all my bikes broke too. So
I'm
no,
gonna buy a bike. I want to go biking this summer.
I'd go biking
I want
with
to
you.
get a longboard.
You're an
Yeah, that's.
idiot, and I hate you for
I
saying
was
that.
gonna call you
What's
something
wrong with
worse.
a-
Yeah, I was
but
too.
stopped
I stopped myself
I'm
too.
like,
What's wrong with a longboard?
I
Are
don't
you a
know.
hipster?
Yeah.
Sure, I don't
Yeah.
care.
The answer is yes. He
I just
is.
think they're cool.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're not as efficient. Like I feel like a bike I can get.
They're
fucking
more efficient
far.
than a skateboard.
Well, yeah, because
sure.
they're meant for long distances, but
Yeah.
it's still not efficient at all. It's like riding a scooter everywhere.
Yeah, sure.
I never understood.
Why
scooter guys.
did I not tell you to put your phone on silent?
It is on silent. What the
No.
Really? It just vibrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what silent does. It vibrates.
No, you can put on Do Not Disturb, homeboy.
Okay. Sorry. God.
Fucking
Crucify me.
Christ, David! You had. There's one rule to follow, okay? You have to understand. This is very serious.
I really don't care. So
I didn't open with my joke.
no, you
Oh,
didn't. I was
no.
I'm so
I
angry.
was
Okay,
gonna tell you.
we have to restart the entire
No,
podcast.
you're right.
Click.
Welcome back. No.
This
So
better not be one of those fucking elephant jokes or whatever that.
yeah, elephant
No,
joke.
the whale or whatever the hell.
Don't
that
touch my
was.
laptop.
I didn't mean to.
So I want y'all to come up with the world's worst superpower. Now I have one to start us off.
World's worst superpower. Okay, let's think about it.
Do you want to think before I say my joke
No,
or
you can
after?
say- you
Okay,
can
so
say it.
my world's worst superpower is you can see great distances, but only in the fog, and you can't see through the fog.
Wow. Holy shit. That's a pretty good one.
I used to play this game a lot in high school.
Yeah, this
think,
is hard to think of.
Like being
It took me a
able
minute.
to like shapeshift and turn yourself into different like objects, but have no control over it whatsoever.
that's pretty good.
That's a pretty
so
good
you're
one.
just like
Just, like,
sitting
one-
there in like class or whatever, and all of a sudden you just turn into a teapot. You're just
And
like,
you're like, oh my god,
Like-
everyone's looking at me.
Yeah, it's
Everyone's
just like-
looking
it's
at
like-
me.
It's like those dreams where you're like in class, but you don't have pants
class.
on. It's class, school, class, whatever. But instead, you're just like you turn into.
What if you shapeshift into a naked version of yourself?
That would suck. Yeah.
That'd be incredible.
I
I'm
like
gonna
it.
say, for me, I'm gonna say you can fly, but only up to like 5 feet.
Oh.
I actually thought you can over. I was thinking you can fly, but Oh man, I had a good one. I forgot it though because I thought of a bunch of them at work the other day, and I did think of a flying one. I have to remember it though.
But you have to be farting the entire time you're flying.
Nice. You can fly, but only for 5 minutes. No, here's what it was. You can fly, but when you land, you teleport back to where you started.
Wow.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's
like so fucking pointless.
shit.
One of my favorites that I heard was you're invisible, but only when people aren't looking at you.
I feel like if people had the ability to fly, I know like people have said this on the internet before, but I feel like it would just be considered exercise and nobody would ever want to do it.
Yeah.
Like I can understand.
Well, it depends. Like, are you flying like fucking like a bird, or are you like Superman? You can just
I
go,
imagine
like,
even
not
like
really...
Superman has to like tense up muscles, I guess, to fly.
I guess. I
so
don't know.
like with his super strength, I imagine that would make it easier. But if you had to like, I imagine you have to exert some sort of force.
Okay.
If we're in this world where humans can fly, you still have to like every
there's still
action.
Physics.
Yeah, there's still physics and everything. So you have to somehow like propel yourself.
Yeah.
So whether you're like actually just flying like we have bird wings, or if you have some sort of like levitation power, I feel like everybody would just get like really bored of it really quick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Everyone's thing is like, oh, I wish I could fly. Like, I never wanted to fly. Like, if I had the opportunity to fly, I feel like I wouldn't take that. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Fly.
Yeah, like, but like, I don't know.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool for perspective. Probably like meditation.
For like a minute.
It's like biking. Like nobody like really wants to go out and bike. Like you'll do it if you want to like meditate or just kind of like get a cool breeze going.
And then there would also be like a certain subsect of people who are just super into it, and they
like
make fun of
cyclists.
everybody. Yeah, exactly. Like bicyclists who like are super into it, and they tell everybody that they should be flying, and they look down on other people who don't fly, and they have to wear like special flying outfits and stuff.
Spandex suits.
It would become like
fly as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Do you think that flying would be an Olympic sport?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
Like fastest flyer. Yeah,
fastest
speed flying.
and like longest distance.
Or it'd be like ice skating too. You'd have like figure flying.
Oh, dude, that would be dope. I would go watch that, like the Red Bull like
really cool.
flying.
It'd be like the Blue Angels, but with just people.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
And then there would be an entire like genre on the internet of just people like crashing.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to see. They would die probably.
Well, yeah,
but
I don't know.
Do you think a bird dies if it falls out of the sky? Like, are they at that point where terminal velocity can kill them? Because like ants don't die from height.
Yeah.
Birds do. Ants don't.
Ants don't die from any kind of height. What if you drop an ant from like
ants don't
terminal velocity?
Yeah,
they don't have mass.
Ants don't have enough mass to make it so that any fall they would speed up quick enough, because you have to think it's all momentum.
Right.
So like if we have enough weight in our bodies that if we start falling, gravity takes enough effect on us. By the time we hit the ground, we're going at a speed where we're gonna like get hurt.
Yeah, but ants can't hit that
Yes,
speed.
birds haven't like if birds just stop flying, they have enough like gravity that they will like hit the ground and
They do.
die.
Okay.
I feel like
I know like baby birds do because they're fragile.
No, like you've never seen like a bird like.
No.
No. Okay. Have you ever seen like a bird crash into a window before?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
birds
It does
crash
suck.
into my
Thank you.
dorm window all the time.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Haven't you
all the
like
time.
hit birds with your car?
No, they
hit
just
a-
always
I've
like
hit a bird.
dive at my car. I always swerve out of the way though, but they're fucking stupid.
So up in the Upper Peninsula,
Up in the up.
up in the Yoop, we take trips out to one of my friend's girlfriend's houses, who lives probably like an hour or two out of town. And on one of the times that we were driving back, this was probably like really, really early in the morning, maybe like, or not really, like maybe like 6 or 7 in the morning, because we had to get back because I had work. And we were just driving and we were talking, and all of a sudden, I don't know if you guys know what like a pheasant is,
Yeah.
what a pheasant looks like, but it's a pretty decent sized bird.
Smaller than a turkey, but yeah.
Smaller than a turkey, but probably at least like the size of a football.
Yeah.
And this pheasant started to fly, and it tried to get up across the road, but it had no time whatsoever to try to get up, and we just smoked it with the corner of our car. So I just saw a pheasant, and then just a puff of feathers.
Wow. Yeah, that's
everywhere.
fucked.
And we tried to stop, but that thing was like there was no
long
pheasant
gone.
left.
Yeah.
Like,
All
it was
right,
just
did
like
you-
a
Did you like
spray.
eat it for dinner?
No. There was like literally like we tried to look for like whatever might have been left.
They were trying
of
to
this
scavenge
pheasant.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
but
might as
it
well
was
eat
just
it.
like, I'm
That's
just
what they do in the UP.
Dude, because they're college kids, man. You gotta get any kind of food you can get.
Yeah.
I don't see like.
It's free food.
Yeah.
I was driving the Geo once up by where Bailey lives, and because Emily, Perry's ex-girlfriend, also lives in the same area, within like 10 minutes. So I was going to pick up Emily one time. I was like, I had just dropped her off or whatever because Perry didn't drive at that time or whatever, and I was on my way home. And I saw a dead animal in the road, and I was like, "Oh, it's already dead." And I was like, "Okay, I'll just like
I'll just run it over.
No, that's not what I thought. But it's like cars are high enough to where if you go over a dead animal, like you're not gonna do any more damage. Like it'll just go over it. And I'm like, I don't want to swerve out of the way. It was in the direct middle of the road.
I think I can see where this is going.
So I was like, oh, my Geo will totally clear this. There's a raccoon. So I drive over it, and I'd run over the already dead raccoon. I'm like, God.
I thought that you were gonna say like just as you're about to go over, the raccoon like
Just
looked
hopped
up.
off.
Oh shit!
Or just its head like picked up, and I was like, what? And it just smoked its head or something like that.
I did hit a possum another time on my way back from Bailey's house a while ago.
It was playing dead, and you thought it was dead.
No, it just like fucking walked in front of my car, and I was like, and I tried to swerve, and it just.
Yeah.
So
that's why, like, I feel so bad for animals because they probably have no like idea what cars.
No,
are.
I think this generation of animals does.
Well, yeah, but
back in like the 20s and 30s,
they're just like, what the fuck? But now they're just like, this is big
They know.
monsters that just
to an
like
extent,
zoom around.
There's
avoid
some
them.
obviously
Nice
like
terminology.
but you have like a deer that sees another deer hit by a car. Yeah, sure, that deer understands like don't get hit by cars. But you also have to understand like the deer in the headlights thing. Like they're looking, they see two bright lights, and they have
they're just
no
like,
concept.
what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
right?
they have no concept of what's going on. They don't understand that there's like a object flying at them at 65
But they know
miles
to
an hour.
avoid roads by now.
Yeah,
within the
that's
generation.
I think they know,
selective.
they know to be cautious.
But
Selective,
that's an environmental thing. That's not.
No,
I don't
definitely.
Think that has like very much, if at all, like any genetic like
I think
generation
no.
upon generation.
Now it does. Because you can see squirrels and animals, especially in cities, look both ways. They avoid like.
I've seen videos of cats doing that shit.
Yeah, like
cats
they
will
know.
stop
They
at a road
learn
and, like,
eventually
look around.
by generational and like parents teaching like, hey, this is what you have to do now. Like the little
Yeah, I
changes.
can understand that, but I don't think that any like sort of breeding where like you have animals that get bred out that don't understand what cars are. And
No,
eventually-
definitely. It's like what you've heard that spiders have been bred out to. Every time you kill a spider, you're just teaching the next generation to avoid being seen, but they're still there.
Well, yeah.
Because it's like they see it like, oh, if you get seen by a human, you will probably get smashed,
Yeah.
and they learn to avoid
I
it.
try not to kill spiders anymore.
I still do. If they're in my house, in my bed,
If they're in my bed, then yeah, dude, you're fucking toast. But like if you're just chilling in like the corner of my kitchen, like all right, man, do your thing.
They're not
Like,
I did have a spider buddy at my dad's old house in Detroit.
Oh.
Who we have sconces in the house
Uh-huh.
down the hallway, and right outside of my bedroom there is a sconce. And in the summer there was a fucking fat ass spider that built a very thick cloud of webbing between the sconce and the wall, and I never touched him. I was like, it's my spider buddy. He never moved, so I was like, you're not harming me.
Yeah,
you're not doing
shit.
anything. Like,
if
you
you're
could.
on me,
If he had moved,
no
I
way.
would have killed him. But he stayed put, and we had a mutual understanding that he was protecting me. And he was my spider buddy.
Yeah. It's just because if I see a bunch of fucking bugs in my house that aren't spiders and they're flying around and being disgusting, like, you know what? I wish I had a spider in here to, take care of these guys. It's like a mutualism thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
In other news, off topic completely, but lots of stuff going on in space this week and last week.
The final frontier.
The final frontier. We have had NASA, or actually, NASA didn't launch the rocket, but they built the lander. ULA, United Launch Alliance, launched a lander for NASA called InSight. It is a Martian. Oh my god!
Oh
I just
my
punched
God.
my laptop. It's
Kyle.
It's mine. I already fucked it up.
Yeah,
So
but
yeah,
if you're gonna give me shit about hitting,
I
can
didn't
give you shit.
I gave Clay shit.
Don't give me shit. That's gross.
Anyways,
That was so stupid.
Sorry about it.
get off your phone, dude.
I was making sure Perry wasn't dead.
David's
Phone
already
work.
on it.
Okay, David can look at his phone whenever he wants, but I can't look at my phone. That's
Yeah.
cool. I'm actually trying not to look at my phone as
You're a
much
saint.
anymore. Okay, fucking sorry.
No, I want to talk about that.
I do
Continue
wanna
with
talk
your
about
space
that.
thing, though.
So, yeah, NASA launched a lander, and then SpaceX just launched. Was it today or yesterday?
Today.
It was today.
It was earlier today.
SpaceX launched the final version of the Falcon 9 rocket, the Block 5, which is allegedly it's going to be the reusable rocket.
Yeah, it's
So
like
the Block
backbone of
4,
SpaceX right now.
yeah, the Block 4 was supposed to be the let's get started and actually do this and apply it, and then the Block 5 is like
Is
we're
this
doing
the
it.
final one? I thought they were
This
gonna
is-
have like another.
No, the Block 5 is the final Falcon 9, but
Okay.
they still have the Falcon 9 Heavy
Yeah,
and
okay.
the BFR, which
That's
is
what I was thinking of.
Big Falcon rocket or Big Fucking Rocket. So
Elon.
for press, it's
Elon.
Big Falcon, but
I'm loving these Elon
Elon Musk is a
memes
character,
of.
man.
I find
him
it
and that
interesting.
girl.
Oh, him and
they're
his
so
girlfriend.
funny. Yeah.
Because everybody was trying to be like, oh yeah, he's got like a Tesla symbol on his jacket, and she's wearing like this necklace that looks like Tesla, like the Tesla symbol.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah,
It
people
was
are so
literally just a
crazy about
necklace
that.
that had spikes on it, and it was a flower on his like it wasn't like he was pushing his
Yeah,
brand or
that's
anything.
why.
He's branding himself. But also in Elon Musk news. The Boring Company,
Elongated
Muskrat, has elongated a tunnel under LA for the first time.
Yeah,
He
that's
finished
awesome.
it. I think, is it the one under the SpaceX parking lot? Is that the, because
That'd have to be, right?
yeah, that's the only one they were doing right now because
Yeah.
that's all they were allowed to do. That's all
Yeah.
they got legislation for. So they finished it. I don't know. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, David's gonna check it out for us real quick.
Get off your phone, David.
Jesus Christ,
Is that how
dude.
Kyle sounds in your head?
In my mind, yeah.
I appreciate
Just
that.
insane.
But no, that's is there.
It just says near SpaceX headquarters, so I assume it's under.
So what exactly is the contents of the tunnel? Like I know it's not dirt, obviously. There's cement in it, but what's in it?
It looks like they probably just have like a basic track.
So they're probably gonna
and
test their Hyperloop now.
I assume, yeah, they're probably going to start doing the tests. I haven't really seen very much of what they plan on testing inside there. I know that they had that mock tube
Yeah.
for a while that they were doing the competitions where they were
The
trying to
Hawthorne
get,
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, where they were trying to get people to come up with the best
Hyperloop
tunnel.
design.
Yeah,
For the pod itself,
exactly.
the
But
levitation.
I'll keep looking, see if there's any more information.
So that's a lot of stuff is going on, and also Elon Musk announced like a candy company. I don't know if it was a joke. He
No,
never really
actually,
jokes.
What I saw was Warren Buffett was basically
Yeah, this was
talking-
all about the
yeah.
last week we talked about the press conference on which he was like mocking investors about like their dumb
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
Well, Warren Buffett basically used his candy company, which is like C's or Lee's
C's
or
Candy.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was basically showing how he's cornered the market in the candy business, basically, and he's kind of diversifying his interests and everything like that, and how even if Elon wanted to, he couldn't make a
Competitor.
competing candy company, and I feel like that's kind of what
It
Musk
set him off.
feeds off of,
Yeah.
almost, where he looks at these fields, and especially if somebody tells him he can't do something, I feel like that's really.
But
It's
do
like,
you,
you know
are you
what?
starting to
I
think he's
can do
stretching
that.
himself out too thin because he's got what like 8 companies now? He's got Tesla, Solar City, Powerwall, which is a part of Tesla now.
Yeah.
SpaceX, his new candy company, his media company, his Boring Company. That's 7 already.
If you look at any other big, entrepreneurial type, any other investor or something like that, they tend to have to do that because they're never truly.
But
satisfied.
are they the CEO of all of their companies? Because Musk
I'm not
is.
sure about that.
Musk
but if you
is.
look at a Warren Buffett type, if you look Warren Buffett, sorry, if you look at any other, sorry, I thought I pronounced that wrong, but I was just being
No, you
stupid.
totally did.
Yeah, I know.
You were fine.
Or if you look at any other CEO like that, I feel like they need to feed off of trying to come up with new ideas.
Well, no,
trying to
because they
break
have a
out
brain
into
that needs
new-
to be stretched.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. But they need to break out into different
But-
fields.
But Elon doesn't have
Elon-
like partners really. It's
Okay,
all
there's
him,
that.
right?
Yeah. He look at his CEO style. He's very hands-on. He's always there, and he never stops.
Yeah, like
he
when
works
they were having
23
issues,
hours
when
a
they were
day.
having issues with the Tesla production stuff.
He was there,
how he was
on the
sleeping
floor.
on the floor,
Yeah.
and everything like
Yeah.
that.
And you look at all of his companies, and like, he can't do that with all of them. He has to apply himself fully to one, and then the rest are going to suffer. And I'm sure he moves around between them, as we've seen via Tesla and SpaceX. But
I feel like you're right. He could be biting off.
I
too
mean,
much.
how old is he now? What? He's late 40s,
Yeah,
like.
something like that. I feel like he's getting into his, if not early, late.
And you can kind of see that Tesla is almost struggling in a sense with the production of Model
little
3. And obviously he always bounces back. Like SpaceX almost went out of business. They had one last chance to launch a rocket, and it was successful, luckily. But, I think he's getting to a point where he's just going kind of crazy.
I think a lot of it has to do with how Elon's brain works, and I think if you look at in his past when he did sell PayPal for millions,
Yeah.
he started breaking that off, and most people, when he started saying, I want to try to come up with a space company, everybody was like, no, privatized space is not where you want to go. It's just a waste of money.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get anywhere with it. You're just going to throw all your money in this, and you're going to go down in a pile of flames, basically, a burning heap.
You'll lose all your money. Yeah.
But when he saw that, he basically said, this is what I've been doing, and this is how I want to pursue my interests and my passions and stuff like that. And I feel like he's really just that kind of really risky type. I feel like
Definitely 100%.
that's something that kind
He's
of,
a risk taker, and
but
he
he's
sets that
almost,
standard.
In this sense, I feel like he's almost addicted to risk. Is his
Definitely.
issue, where he likes
Wow.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He always likes getting himself in these situations so he can come up with.
He likes to
these
prove
ways-
people wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a big thing. But I think he likes to put himself in situations so that he gets that like nervous energy, this anxious like that he needs to perform and he needs to prove to people that he's, because that's all I've ever seen people do is doubt what Elon Musk can do. And I feel like no matter what, he's always trying to push the envelope. He's always trying to set goals and projects and stuff way higher than anybody thinks that he's able to produce. Yeah. But somehow he always finds a way to meet those.
But eventually he's going to reach that ceiling, and he's not going to be able to get past it, and then he might fuck up a lot of things.
The only thing that we've seen from his candy company thing is 2 tweets where he said, I want to come up with a candy company, and he said, like, I'm
crypto candy.
Yeah, and he's like super serious about it or whatever, however he worded it.
But again, he has, he also has the media company Thud, which we've not seen anything from. And wasn't he doing a satellite company too?
He was trying to, yeah.
So, I mean, again, like Clay said, he's going to hit that point where he can't juggle all of these, and he'll have to give up CEO responsibilities for most of them. But I think I don't know.
Like in the next decade or two, I think that we're going to see a lot of these kind of CEOs that are kind of becoming what dictates our government, what dictates our economy, what dictates how we live our lives. Because a lot of this, Jeff Bezos with Amazon, whoever is the CEO of Apple now, I can't think of his name.
Tim Cook.
Yeah, Tim Cook. You have Elon with all these different companies, SpaceX and stuff that are kind of privatizing these industries that we've never seen privatization in before. I think it's going to be interesting to see where these kinds of people lead to, because we've never seen this kind of wealth and monetary value, but we've also never seen somebody be the head of a company that's so big, like an Amazon or an Apple or Elon with his SpaceX or Tesla or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, it's going to really, I think that these types of people are going to dictate how we live our lives in the next decade or two, how
for sure
we continue to live on this planet, because obviously things have to change. I don't think that the way that our government works and the way that our economy works.
No, things are changing already. It's been set in motion.
There's going to have to be drastic changes, I think. And I think we're going to see drastic changes. And I'm honestly kind of excited for it. I'm kind of nervous, but I feel like I'm excited to see where people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Tim Cook and stuff can kind of push the envelope and go into different... Yeah, and the Zuck, to see like where. That's actually a very interesting example that you brought up, because I think that Zuckerberg is an example of a situation where a company grew too fast and the head of it wasn't able to keep up
he couldn't
with
handle it in a way.
I think it almost broke down, and I've actually, one of the things that I've seen that a lot of people are bashing Facebook for is the fact that they've been banning people off of Facebook who may have radical ideas, but there are legit Facebook groups that represent like radical Islam groups in the Middle East.
David said it. He hates Islam. Continue.
Wow.
Okay, but like ISIS has a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And they're not
Can you drop a like on ISIS?
Oh, but
hell yeah.
But what's happening is they're using a program like Facebook, and it's literally suggesting people who you can be friends with. And so they can use that to literally find people to join their militias and join their organizations and stuff like that through Facebook, and none of this is being controlled.
Fuck Facebook. I deleted.
It's kind of like YouTube. I also don't have the Facebook app.
I just want to delete the whole thing altogether. Honestly, I only keep it now for like
Messenger
and like invitations. Sometimes people have like
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, especially like our generations, have kind of gotten away from Facebook because it got way too popular way too quickly.
I think it got popular with the older crowds.
Exactly.
But
like, that's when like the cool factor got lost.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't
like edgy.
Yeah, it wasn't popular.
That's what everyone loves. It's like, oh, dude, I love edgy content.
But now that's like
what
Twitter
is.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
why everyone's on fucking Twitter. Our age.
Honestly, I think Twitter's also starting to go down too. I haven't been using Twitter very much. I think
really
Twitter's
think so.
different though. No. Twitter's different though in a sense where it's a lot more curated, where you can literally pick who you want to be in your feed.
Yeah,
whereas like you can't. You can do that with Facebook, but it's a lot less controlled. So you kind of have like suggestions, and you have people who are kind of just putting things on your.
And I feel like most people are friends with their relatives on Facebook, so you can't really say a lot of shit because it's like that's a lot of people.
Yeah, Twitter's a lot more niche.
I can see Facebook kind of taking a position where it acts as more of like a communication setting, where it allows you to connect to family members and relatives, and
people that aren't around.
People who you may.
I always saw Twitter as more of like the news/comedy machine for the younger generation, and Facebook as like you said, the connection of like I guess I should keep in touch with my relatives.
That's for most people. For me, that's the only reason I talk to half of my family is because they're on Facebook. But I'm barely even on Facebook myself. But if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have no fucking idea what's going on with those people.
The problem with all these social media sites, though, is that they're they're all there just to show the best parts of people's lives, and it's so artificial and fake. And you brought that up to me, David, and that's why he doesn't use Twitter and Facebook and stuff, because it's not true. It's not a real representation of people.
I realized actually like some time ago that when you're looking at people's Facebook pages, when you're looking at people's Twitter profiles, when you look at a person's Instagram, it's no longer what that person, like, I don't know if you guys remember what Twitter used to be, but it was literally like, I'm taking a shit. Like, it was literally
Still
just like
that.
people like, telling you
That's
about
what I
what they're
tweet
doing
about.
during their day.
Yeah.
But I feel like now all of these social media sites have almost become like a challenge. Like, you're trying to make yourself the most interesting and the most popular person you can come up with.
Oh yeah, I mean, you see all these like fucking, for our generation, all these promposals going on. They're just upping the ante and like, oh yeah, well look at mine.
Everyone's just showboating pretty much.
And that's all.
And it's unheard of because we've never had the opportunity to reach so many people.
Yeah.
And now you can
These
do something.
promposals are getting like hundreds of thousands of likes.
You can do something like, for example, you can post a YouTube video. Like, we can make one of these podcasts, and for some reason, for some strange thing that we can never understand, 1 million people want to listen to it. Just because it's
for
popular.
one thing.
Yeah, for one thing. Because it gets popular, because we mention something, or because something happens and
Maybe we should start doing that.
And it
just
goes
starts
viral.
talking about controversial shit.
That's why we need Perry, man.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways.
But you've never had the availability to reach so many people, and that's where I find it interesting, because I think there was a Black Mirror episode about that, where it was like a girl had this like social media account where all she did was post, and that's what became her life.
Yeah.
It was
And
everybody's lives.
Yeah,
it was just like based on, it was like credit, but it wasn't credit.
Yeah.
It was like your social standing is how people would treat you, or how like you could get like a loan for a car and shit like that.
And I love
based on
that
your
show
behavior.
honestly because of that. But going back to my original topic, if you look at how like these apps are created and stuff like that, if you look at the colors they use, if you look at how the infinite scrolling works with any sort of Facebook or anything like that, even if you look at how you can pull down from the top of the screen and refresh it, it's almost like pulling down on the bar on like a lottery machine. You're literally feeding psychologically off of what our brains crave. Is just constant information to drown out whatever you're doing whenever you're bored. And it's the notifications, because of the color red it is, your brain sees that, and it
against the background of blue,
like
it stands out.
Yeah.
Your dopamine levels literally spike when you get a notification.
Exactly. It's interesting. I'm interested to see what kind of long-term effects we can attach to people using social media, people using.
You can already see it. The like increase in like conversational narcissism.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're all very young comparatively, so it's like that's all we know, and I can't really say that there is an increase in conversational narcissism, but you can definitely pick it out when you talk to people and they just talk about how great they are and how great the things they do are.
Yeah.
And I don't know how recent that occurrence is. Like I said, I'm very young in the world, very naive.
I think there's also a lot of it also has to do with a feeling like when you put a screen in front of another person's face. I know people often talk about this, but when you put a screen in front of your face, it's almost like getting inside of a car.
A layer.
There's a layer of separation between you and whoever is on the other side. And so before, when you had to look at a person face to face and tell them about what you had in mind, now there's this layer of separation where it doesn't feel like you're talking to a human being anymore.
You can say literally whatever you want. It's like it doesn't even affect you.
You're emotionally detached from it.
Yeah, there's no repercussions, and you're not emotionally attached to it.
Because you can't play off of the reaction that people give you when kids are growing up and their brains are developing, and they see like, oh, I've hurt this person's feelings with what I've said. They don't get that now. They see like somebody they'll get a comment like that's not okay, but they don't get that emotional response that they need to understand.
It's funny because Louis C.K.
Oh boy, let's talk about that guy.
Controversy.
Louis
Let's go.
C.K. actually had a bit where he talked exactly what you're talking about, where a kid looks at another kid and he goes, "I hate you," and then that kid sees the look on that other kid's face,
that it's hurtful.
Yeah, the emotion that kid portrays, and then you go, "Oh damn! Like I don't like that feeling. Like I just made that person feel."
Yeah, when you're looking at a phone screen.
When you look at a phone screen and you
type,
"I hate you" to another person, you send that, you go, "Yeah, that makes me feel good." And then if other people see that and they go, "Oh yeah, you're part of our group now because you hate this other person."
Yeah.
Not only are you getting this weird dopamine rush and you're getting this weird adrenaline
because of
rush
recognition,
and because you feel like you're part of this group, also on the other end, when this person receives this message, they're not seeing the emotional response that you're attached to that. So they're not getting any context. They're not getting any, facial patterns and micro expressions and stuff like that in a person's face that we learn to read.
Yeah.
And so they then have to take that message, try to interpret it, and if it's a negative, we're seeing all this with cyberbullying now. How a person can get so upset over the things that another person says to them, even without having any sort of face-to-face communication.
It could be like 100 miles away and still has
and
the
they
same
end
impact.
up doing things to themselves, even in some cases committing suicide.
Yeah. And you can even see it in celebrities when, like, you'll hear about them reading comments on Twitter, on YouTube videos they've uploaded, like YouTube celebrities, and it's like they see the hateful comments, and it's like
I would never read comments if I was someone like that ever.
That's why I don't think that we should ever we can look at comments for this as constructive.
Oh, definitely.
I would never read
I've
comments
seen
on this.
people like
Nobody's
Twitter,
commented
Twitter
on it.
rants.
Don't
Twitter
comment.
rants are like
Shut up.
part of our lives now. Is like seeing two people argue on Twitter. Is just like how people communicate now.
I think it's vehement, like brutal.
It's really brutal. You can see that on Facebook too. And the other thing,
Facebook is something special, man.
is just people have no idea. Like I almost feel like it has also something to do with what we're seeing now with the way that race and religion and sexuality and stuff like that are kind of becoming two opposite spectrums, because you no longer have those direct feelings when you're looking at somebody, calling them a racial slur or making fun of them because they are gay. You're not getting that direct communication.
The fuck did you just call me, dude?
So you can go on a YouTube video and you can comment that person is, the F word because they're gay.
A fucker?
Yeah,
he's a fucker.
Yeah, they're a fucker. Yeah.
Fuck.
And they feel good because in their circle, that's what people like to see, but they're not getting that response towards that person when they're saying that. Yeah. It's just I don't know what's gonna happen, and we've communicated the same way for all of human history, where it's been face-to-face communication, talking to one another.
Until those damn letters came out, man. Fuck writing.
It's also interesting though because you can look at like when
those kids writing letters being mean.
When newspapers first came out, everybody thought that it was going to ruin society because literally everybody was just reading newspapers. When books came out, everybody thought it was going to ruin society because everybody was
I remember
reading
when
books.
books were invented.
Everyone's got their nose in a book these days. Like, dude, come on.
So, I honestly, some of it's probably like a little bit overblown because it's just.
I wouldn't say it's going to ruin society, but it's definitely.
It's going to definitely change how we view people.
Oh, definitely.
For sure.
It's weird.
I don't know where the fuck Perry is.
He said he was
He
in
looked
traffic.
he looked at the group chat and he asked if we were recording, and then I said yeah. And
I'm going to.
He's probably just he's literally probably upstairs, just standing there, like looking around, like where are they? No, he'll be fine.
What are we looking at time?
We're at 42 minutes.
Are there any conversations we want to save for Perry, or should we just fucking?
I don't think he's coming.
He's coming.
Right,
I think he would have showed up already.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know where the fuck he is coming from, because where he lives right now, 10 minutes away from this, and he was on his way like 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish you would have walked
it
out
would be
right
funny
that
if you
moment.
just walked out
Right,
and was
all
like,
right.
huh?
Let's get off the Perry topic.
Well, because I did want to bring up that he has injured himself, and I wanted him to be here.
He looks so fucking.
I
cool.
wanted him to be here to talk about
That's
it.
why I
since
want to
he's
go
not.
out with him. Like, I
Well,
want
do you want to
to
say
become
what
with
happened
us.
to him then until he can? We can
No,
kinda talk
I don't
about
want to
it?
wait a week for it. Like, it's not. So my brother went up north with my grandpa these past couple of days, and I wanted him here so he could tell the story because nobody knows what happened.
I don't know what
Nobody
happened. I
actually,
have no idea.
not even my own father, because I tried to get it out of my dad, and I was like, Dad,
Okay.
because I work with my father, and I was talking to him on break. I'm like, what the fuck happened to Perry? And he's like, oh, my brother scratched his cornea. So he's wearing an eye patch right now. He looks like Thor.
He does.
And
He looks so cool.
he looks really cool, but nobody knows what happened. He said he was...
He doesn't know. Like, literally, only he knows what happened.
Probably him and my grandpa, but he probably didn't even tell my grandpa the full story because it's Perry.
I feel like probably what happened. I saw videos of him on Instagram. He was like punching a tree or some shit and like kicking it.
Yeah, he probably got a splinter in his eye from that.
that's what I'm
When he
assuming.
when he goes up north, he brings his swords and he cuts.
He cuts shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just goes crazy.
So he probably like got a splinter in his
The
eye.
other thing I know that happens a lot is if you get like a branch or something that comes at you, sometimes like that branch like twig can just like hit you right in the eye and scratch you. Right across the
I'm sure it
eye.
was something like that.
So, but nonetheless, Perry can't see out of one eye.
Pirate now.
He's a pirate or Thor.
He's Thor, yeah.
Spoilers, if you haven't seen Thor
Or
Ragnarok.
Winter Soldier.
No.
That movie came out too. Fuck him. Thor has one eye.
Nah, he's Thor because we called him Thor before that.
Yeah.
And then now it's even
He's
better.
it's like
Now he just has to
perfect.
cut his hair and he's perfect.
And he's got a neck beard like Thor.
dare you.
Thor has a neck beard, guys,
Yeah.
according to
He's a
David.
pleb.
yeah, definitely,
wears-
definitely a beta
He wears
man.
trilbies. Yeah. He wears trilbies.
To be honest, probably.
You think so? Chris Hemsworth? I'm pretty sure Chris Hemsworth is just...
No, I wasn't.
Do you imagine if like Chris Hemsworth, like the epitome of like alpha male, was like a neckbeard?
Was just like really like cringy.
He drank
and weird
Mountain
in
Dew.
real life. Awkward. Like just
at
most
his
attractive
computer all
man
day,
ever.
and just, like,
He'd be an
scroll through
inspiration to neckbeards everywhere.
Hell yeah.
I'd be inspired to not do shit with my life.
Me too.
But I had a few more topics to talk about.
I wanted to talk about...
Okay, never mind. Clay, continue.
Yeah, it's my turn, motherfucker. All right, so I want to talk about hip-hop. I want to talk about, David, I know you are kind of, I don't know about Kyle, but David's more in touch with modern-day hip-hop music.
Yeah.
Childish Gambino, his new song, what do you think of it?
I've actually, I personally, I really like the song, and I'm glad you brought this up because I've been looking a lot into the symbolism.
You just brought on another lecture. Thank you.
No, I want to talk about this.
No, because I've been looking a
Side
lot
opinions.
into what people, because nobody has come out with the official like what the video means.
Yeah.
But
True
everybody's really going in, like diving really deep into like what all of the things, because the video is really weird.
It's
If you've
really weird and
watched the video-
controversial. It's
yeah.
like, yeah.
To give you a
I mean,
rundown,
yeah, it
I'm not
opens.
Sure, I'm not sure if you've watched the
I
video.
have.
Okay.
A few times.
A lot of like the main things, the way that he dances and stuff like that have been attached to
like Jim Crow.
Yeah, Jim Crow. Like,
The opening
way
scene
that he
is a Jim
and
Crow
stuff like that.
pose.
When he shoots the people, he hands the gun over to another person, and they're holding a rag or like a cloth, basically.
They're treating it very carefully.
Yeah, which symbolizes how the guns are being treated.
And in the
as
background of
murder.
the Jim Crow scene, you can see the guy just being fucking dragged away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas the gun is like very calmly and carefully.
When he shoots the choir, that is the church shooting. I don't remember.
Yeah, the
which one
representation of.
specifically.
I think it was in
Yeah.
Texas, right?
Yeah, I think it was in Texas. And if you look at some of the other scenes in the videos, the kids dancing around him, most people have assumed that's kind of either trying to ignore what's going on, because if you look, there's like rioting going on in the background,
Yeah.
And
shooting,
they're just like, they're
there's
all
violence and stuff
smiling
like
the
that.
entire time.
Or what's happening is the kids understand that if they ignore it and if they join this group, that nothing bad's gonna happen to them.
Right.
Because everything else, like outside the group, everybody's getting like like destroyed, and there's like riots going on, everything like that. If you look in one of the scenes, they pan up, and you kind of see everybody like looking on their phones and kind of just doing stuff on their phones. At first, I saw that, and I thought it kind of meant like our culture kind of has this idea where you don't get help, you kind of record it because it's gonna get you like famous on the internet and stuff like that. But other people have kind of attached that to like our society that doesn't care about what's going on. But it's definitely controversial.
Yeah, my biggest thing with it is I think it's important for artists to address things like that in their music, but, and this is where things might get a little rocky for me, but from a musical standpoint, would you listen to that song
I wouldn't.
without watching the video?
No.
Exactly.
See, I'm not partial to the song. It's obviously a good song, but I'm not partial to it. It's not
think,
like phenomenal or like
No, I don't
crazy.
think-
I think even the song, the way that he put it, was even a message, like a symbol.
Right.
Because if you look at what Childish Gambino's been putting out, he's very lyrical. He's
Oh,
very
definitely.
symbolic.
A
He's
very great
He makes a
rapper.
lot of metaphors, analogies in his music. I think he's a great artist. And I think with this, with other like with the Redbone album, he got really out there.
Redbone was a weird game changer
but I
because
liked
it was very
it.
different.
I liked it. And the same thing with this song. I mean, a lot of people are saying that this isn't the same Childish Gambino that we're used to.
It's not.
A lot of people are upset because they think that this album, which he has said is going to be his final album that he puts out, this
Didn't
album.
he say that about the last one though?
No, he was because
No, I knew this one was.
Yeah, because
gonna be
he's
the
saying
last
that this
one.
is going to be the final one. He's going to hang up Childish Gambino at least for a long
For now,
period of
yeah.
time. Yeah, and I actually like the song a lot because I feel like what he's doing is he's trying to take his style and turn it into what has become considered like popular music today. What has become, if you look at how he sings in it, it's very mumbly. He finishes a lot of his lines and a lot of his rhymes with the fillers that are very popular nowadays, like yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
I
like-
did notice that.
It's just like it's not very good lyrically like we're used to, but I can understand why you guys wouldn't like the song because I don't think you guys really like very much popular rap and popular
Well, Clay
hip-hop and
definitely
stuff like
does.
I do, but my biggest thing with it is I feel like a lot of people or a lot of hip hop artists are gonna try to like have that same aspect of like symbolism and all this stuff, but it's not gonna play out where the song is still good. Like I do think it's important to have those messages, but it should also go with this song is actually good. I would actually listen to this, and you can actually play this, and be like, oh wow, like I like
Because
this song.
that song doesn't really go well without the video.
No,
like
that's
you
what
kind
I'm
of
saying.
have to watch
You
the
have to
video.
watch the video
Yeah,
to understand
It's
what
not
else going on.
if you listen to the song by itself, it's not a very interesting
Even
song.
the song by itself doesn't even have the gunshots in it
It's
to
very
change the
repetitive.
tone.
It's very repetitive, and it's very basic. I don't see very much of. I would love if he, at the same time that he was making this statement, if he was doing his same lyrical, like crazy metaphors and crazy like analogies,
And even crazy speed.
and speed and stuff like that. But he was still like talking about all these issues in his videos. He didn't leave it super like vague and up to interpretation and stuff like that. That's what I would have wanted to see.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I do like the song. I wish I would have seen more of it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the topic of hip hop, I started listening to Eminem because I do want to get into that style of music more. Not obviously like fad rappers, you know.
What kind of? Because Eminem is.
there's been a lot of
Interesting.
there's been a lot of versions of Eminem.
Yeah, that's what I'm
There's
saying.
been a
What
lot
version of
generations.
Eminem are you? Like,
I put it
listening
on
to?
shuffle. I looked up Eminem on Spotify, and I'm getting every album from start to finish random. So I get to
Is there
experience.
anything that's really like stood out to you that you really like?
Rap God. No.
Honestly, that's one of the songs I like. I
make
don't know if
elevator
I've
music.
listened to it too much, but that's one of his songs I really don't like anymore.
I've actually been listening to it on repeat for a couple days now.
Really?
Yeah, because obviously there's a lot of references in that song alone to him and his generational, like, he's been going on for decades now, and he references that with his Bill Clinton line, where it's like, I've been going strong since the Lewinsky scandal, you know. That's not obviously the exact lyric, but and he references like his feuds with other rappers in the early 2000s.
That's my favorite era of Eminem.
Yeah,
It's like
that
when
era is
Dr. Dre
great.
was still like
Slim Shady.
Yeah,
The Slim Shady era. Another in that era, one of the songs I like is I don't remember what it's called, but it's where him and Dre are playing an Angel and the Devil, and it goes through 3 different people, and Eminem and Dre playing the conscience of these people.
Okay.
And so Dre is the angel and Slim is the devil, and that song's really good. I don't remember what it.
Yeah, I don't know what that's called either.
But it was pretty classic. Obviously, you know, Stan, a classic song.
Yeah.
I it's funny because being a fan of Eminem, I didn't listen to Stan until quite recently, honestly, maybe like a year or 2 ago, and I thought that was a really cool song.
It's a good song.
Like, it's very interesting. If I've looked it up, and he says that it's similar to some of the things that he's gotten, but it's not an actual true story like some people think it is.
Yeah.
But I just think that's because I've never seen another.
It really. I
artist
think
do
I
something
think
like
that song was him trying to communicate to his fans, like, you have to take a step back and realize that this isn't
Yeah.
like, don't go crazy over celebrities. Like, you have to, you know, live your own life.
Right.
I really enjoy Toy Soldiers. Like Toy
Soldiers
Soldiers.
is a really good
That's a fantastic song.
You want
Obviously,
me to name off some other Slim Shady songs and see if you like them or not? what
Name
your opinion
every
is?
single Slim Shady song.
I really liked Spacebound when that came out. I remember when that song came out. I don't know if you guys know what that song is.
See, I'm so bad with titles. It's everything that you're saying. I have
especially
no
with somebody
idea.
with
If I heard
decades
it, I'd
worth
be
of
like,
music,
oh,
yeah.
But I
Love,
think
Love
all
the Way
these
You Lie.
Rihanna.
I don't like
Yeah,
that song.
I know that one, but
I don't like the
Flat.
ones that get really poppy and have featured
Yeah,
pop
me either.
artists.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously he's a lyrical genius, you know, but it's like I'm only listening to his songs for him.
What about Lose Yourself?
Again, I don't really prefer.
yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
There was his Slim Shady song in Revival, because that was added on the album after the album was finished, because they said he needed like a hook song to get him back on top of the game, and so the Slim Shady song in Revival is really good.
Yeah. I do you prefer Eminem where he's going hard, where he's making like comments about society and stuff like that, or do you prefer Slim Shady where he's just being like?
I kind of prefer the
I-
goofy guy.
Yeah, you
I prefer that.
I
he's
don't-
just trying
I
to
like
piss
because I just
people
like
off.
that like. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, he works with pissing people off. That's
Yeah,
his
that's
thing.
his specialty. Yeah.
I just
Make
like that
lemonade.
style a little bit more because it's more just like I don't give a fuck. Like
White America. That's also a really good song. I love
Yeah,
that
it
song.
is. I don't know. What are your guys' opinions of some like more modern artists? Like I guess SoundCloud rapper would be a good like. What do you guys think
haven't
of
even looked into
what's like? Okay,
I don't.
I guess the biggest one that everybody knows about is Lil Peep because he kind of made the news
I never listened
and
to him.
stuff like that.
I know that he passed away recently.
Yes.
He did a song with Marshmello, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good song.
I have recently. It's really weird because for a while, the only Little Peep song that I've listened to is Ben Struck, and if you listen to that song by itself, it's really stupid. But if I suggest that you guys go look at some of what Little Peep has done because he talks a lot about mental health and like suicide and stuff like that and how that's an issue. And a lot of people see the SoundCloud rapper scene as being super into the drugs and super into like the party
which
scene and everything like that, which turns a
pretty
lot of people
accurate.
off. But what I see from Lil Peep is, and this makes me so upset because he did pass away and everything like that, is that he was being super truthful about it. He was being super emotional in his music and everything like that. And it makes it seem so much more genuine than anybody other, like Lil Xan,
What is it with the Lil? Like, that started with Lil Wayne, didn't it?
Lil Wayne pretty much founded that.
There's been a couple of little rappers throughout the years and stuff like that. I don't know what started it, whether it was Lil Wayne or if somebody else did like a SoundCloud rapper thing. I don't know if it's specific.
Well, Wayne's been out since what, like 04?
Yeah, exactly.
It's been.
But if it's like a specific,
Before that,
I don't know if it's a specific recording company or like a title company that like takes all these like little groups. I don't know. But I suggest people look into the music a lot more than just the surface, because if you just if you read about it and you look at what the popular media looks at it now, it's just glorifying club culture. It's glorifying using drugs like Xanax and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and I think
definitely need to get away from that. Yeah. Because older hip hop used to be
about murder, man. Where's all the murder songs?
Listen. There were definitely things like that, but like Tupac, for example, he used to talk about real shit, and it sounded incredible. Like, he did it in a way where it just like changed
Tupac's
everything. But then
overrated.
people, you know what? But yeah, we kind of got away from that, which I thought that was like.
No, there was definitely an era with meaningful hip hop,
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between hip hop and rap is the meaning behind it. I feel like rap is more like about like showing off, like, this is what I have, this is what I can do, whereas hip hop's like, this is real. I'm scared now.
Good job, Kyle. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good. But
there's a concert going on upstairs.
Yeah, so we're actually at 56 minutes. I think I'll cut it short here.
Sure. Any closing thoughts, Clay?
Closing thoughts? No, I don't think so. I think I'm good.
David?
I think the biggest thing I want to bring up, but just like to finish the idea, I know Clay really likes Biggie Smalls, and I recently have been getting really into Biggie.
Biggie.
He talks a lot, especially
So
on is it Suicidal Thoughts? Is that the name of
Yes.
the album? That album talks about the mental health and everything, and that was before anybody discussed that stuff.
That was when it was like fucking weird to discuss that stuff. When you got
when he got
judged
into
for
that stuff, I just feel like that's even more strong and more passionate and more emotional because he did that before anybody else did.
Yeah.
But he was still rapping about
Exactly,
it. He
yeah.
wasn't just like.
And it was good.
And it was fucking
so
incredible.
good. Oh my god, that's gonna have to be an entire like podcast by itself.
We can do it.
Just,
We can
like,
do
talk
it.
about-
You and I could do a one cast, or even you two could do a coffee talk about just hip hop in the past and modern day. But thank you everybody for listening. If you even did listen, if you even made it to this point.
If you're still here, God bless you.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening.
If you enjoyed it,
There's
like.
Perry coming down the stairs right now.
Yeah, there's hey Perry. No, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at GLTG Podcast, and tell your friends because we need your help. Goodbye.